this video, I'm going to talk about how to use certain types of exercise or movement to regulate specific unwanted emotional states. So I'm going to give you the negative emotion and what you should do about it physically in your environment, using your body to get rid of that negative emotion and release it. So I used to be someone who had the motivation to work out, but day after day I was not doing it. What I realized was I was having the thought in my head, oh, I should work out today. I want to work out today. I like working out. I want a nice body, but I am not up for it. I feel like shit right now. I don't feel good. I don't have enough energy to work out today. This is not going to work today. I don't feel like working out today. And what I didn't understand is that the whole point of exercising is to heal that thought that you're having. So you feel like shit, and then you exercise, and that feeling of feeling like shit goes away, and it's replaced with feeling amazing. Who would have thought? But if I had this realization, you can too. You just need to recognize your thought patterns. But once you're able to recognize, I'm feeling this emotion, let me go try this type of movement, that can be so profoundly healing for your mental state, your physical state, and just genuinely your emotional, spiritual well-being overall. So what helped me is, instead of just trying all sorts of different exercises when I'm feeling a specific emotion, like shame, anxiety, I don't know, depression, whatever, instead of just like always lifting weights or always running or always doing yoga, if you feel a specific emotion, we can do a specific exercise to fast track the healing process. So if you feel like shit, we have a cure for that. All right, babe. So I'm going to go over 5 common negative emotions that people have and the most likely exercise that will get you out of that emotion as quick as possible. So the first one is when you're feeling lonely or just generally lost. I and many others use yoga to get rid of my feelings of loneliness. There are 2 reasons for this. The first one is that yoga, unlike other sports, somewhat requires another human being and a connection between the two. Because typically when you do yoga, especially if you go to class, but even if you're not at class, if you do it on your phone or whatever, it's not really good to do it by yourself. You know, you can try to come up with a yoga sequence, but you are supposed to focus on your breath when you're doing yoga. And so that's why we have a yoga instructor to guide us through the yoga, so that we can focus our brains solely on paying attention to how our breath moves with our body. And so we have a yoga instructor. So first of all, the yoga instructor being there will make you feel less lonely because you're connecting on this shared experience, and that reduces the feelings of loneliness. But also what happens when you do yoga, you connect your breath to your movement. And in doing that, you become really aware of the feelings that you're having inside of your body. You become like hyper aware of your inner self in a way. So what happens with that is that you realize, oh, I'm a person. If I have the ability to take care of another human being, I can also take care of myself because I'm a person too. And like, you realize you can be your own friend. Even with just one yoga session, you come back to yourself and you realize you have yourself as a friend and a partner and whatever you need in the moment. So that's why I like using yoga for loneliness. Let's move on to disassociation. I struggle to say that word, but you know what I'm saying. Disassociation is when you're just like unable to ground yourself in your body. So what I like to do for that is Pilates, because Pilates causes horrible pain in your body. It causes that burning, the buildup of lactic acid in the muscles so intensely, and you really gotta fight through that. But while you're doing it, there is no fucking way that you're gonna be thinking about other shit. You're gonna feel what's going on in your body when you're at Pilates. So that will bring you back to self as well, similar to yoga, but in a completely different type of thing. Pilates is intense. But with Pilates, it can feel good to have control over your thoughts. So like, you think you can do 30 seconds of pulses up and down on that reformer shit, and then you end up doing 45 seconds, and that is also empowering, but puts you back in your body. So I like to do Pilates for disassociation. Next thing, anxiety. That's a big one. Anxiety goes with running. I'm sure you could have guessed that, but this literally happened to me today. I was feeling very sad, and I took a moment, and I was like, I feel sad, I know that, I got that, but what are my specific thoughts that I'm having? And when I dissected those thoughts and attached an emotion to those thoughts, it was labeled with anxiety. I went on a run, here we are. I feel so much better. While I was on that run, I created a plan. Instead of having those feelings of fear that I was having, that was my anxiety-provoking thought, is like, what if this thing that I want doesn't happen? While I was on the run, I realized instead of thinking, what if it doesn't happen, I'm going to think, I'm feeling this negative emotion. That's good that I have emotions. That is my guidance. So I know what I don't want. What is it now that I do want? And from that run, I was able to create a plan by reversing my thoughts and thinking, okay, this is what I'm fearing. That means I know what I don't want. So if we flip it over, this is what I do want. And then from there, I came home and I created a plan. Anxiety gone. I know what I need to do to make sure that fear is never realized. The fourth one, if you're feeling insecure, we're gonna lift weights. This one I know for a fact works because this is like the basis of my entire career. I'm a personal trainer if you didn't know that, but I started lifting weights because I was insecure. With this one, there's already a built-in mechanism because if you feel insecure about your body, there's a solution for that. You can grow certain parts of your body. You can change the way your body looks through resistance training. So it's like built-in concrete already. But even in just one session, the pump creates an illusion, along with like serotonin being secreted from your brain when you exercise. There's also the like visible proof that you are getting better and growing and changing in just one session, because if you work out just one body part, you're gonna get a pump, so your muscle is gonna get inflated. So like if you're a girl that wants to look skinny in the waist, thick in the ass, and you go and do some hip thrusts, you do like 5 sets of them bitches, your ass will literally get bigger in one session. Yes, it might go back down, but a little bit of muscle is growing, and by the end of one session, one exercise even, just the hip thrust will do it, or squats or whatever the fuck you like to do, but just one resistance training exercise will literally inflate the muscle. You'll go from looking in the mirror at the beginning of the exercise thinking, fuck, like, I hate the way I look, I'm not feeling this body of mine, to after you're looking in the mirror like, ooh, girl, I was wrong, my bad, I'm sorry. That's why I love weightlifting so much. Moving on. Overthinking. When you're overthinking, you need to walk in nature, because what's going to happen is you're going to notice all the details of the beauty of life. You're going to be drawn back in to the whole point. And the whole point of you being on this earth is to have the human experience, and that is living in the now and enjoying the little things in life, noticing the small details that bring you joy and bliss. And when you go on a walk, I guarantee when you look around at the nature and the trees, you're going to leave that walk feeling immensely more grateful than you did prior to the walk. Even if you're worried and overthinking, this will clear your mind. And I have a little bonus one actually. That is if you are feeling a pure lack of motivation, which after I cured all my other mental disorders, at the end of the day, nobody's motivated 24/7. That is just a fact. And so if you're feeling extra unmotivated and you don't yet have the discipline to go out and do what you know you need to do, if you're just like, I don't want to do it, like I really just have zero desire to go out and move my body, but I know I need to, but I don't want to. When you're feeling that, go to a group class or get an accountability partner of sorts. I have a random example. Yesterday, I was at the beach, and here's the shoreline, right? And then there was a rock that went out into the water. So in order to go around the rock, you can't climb over it because it was a really big rock, right? So in order to get to the other side, there's more beach over here, beach here, right? Water over here. You have to swim in the ocean around this big ass rock to get to the other side of the beach. I wanted to go over there because there was a little cave, and the cave looked so pretty. I wanted to go see it, but I'm not the best swimmer. So I was like, fuck it, I want to go see this cave. So I swam around the rock, right? And when I got to the other side, all I could think was, holy shit, I do not want to go back in that water. That shit's scary. I almost drowned. I am not cut out for swimming. I fucking hate swimming. I hate swimming. That's what I was thinking when I got to the other side, right? I stood on that shore thinking, I'm gonna climb this rock. That rock was not climbable, babe. So I just sat there and I was like, damn, what am I gonna do? I don't want to get back in this water so bad. I don't think I can do it. I'm scared. I feel like shit, and I just don't want to exercise because I was swimming. It was technically exercise. I just don't want to do it. I stood on the beach for like 5 minutes debating how I was going to get across. this random girl comes over to me and she's like, do you want to swim back with me? Got in the water. I was like, yeah, of course. Got in the water. Did it instantaneously. Yes, I was still scared, but having someone to just push you even a little bit, life-changing for some people. Me, I'm motivated by others. It's just in my nature, and I'm sure it's in many people's nature. So if you just have a pure lack of motivation, get you an accountability partner, or just go to group classes. If you live in a city, there's this thing called ClassPass. You can literally pay like $20 a month and go to classes in your area. It's different pricing for everywhere, but you can go to like 2 or 3, depends, a month, classes with new people, and you can meet new people too, become less lonely. It's just a win all around. But accountability partner, or using group classes to find an accountability partner, or just like signing up for any class to force you to go, you know, you don't want to forfeit that $12 cancellation fee. I know you don't want to pay that $12. So even if that $12 is your motivation, it's worth it for me. So try these out. Let me know how y'all feel. And let me know if you have any video suggestions for me, because I got a lot of these. So love you guys. Bye.